To hear you.
Singing is his lifelong love, so why is this Kerrville man just now beginning to record? The answer out on the porch, coming up. You're watching KXAN News 36.
Sorry about the volume. We're going to try and fix it.
Sherry.
Getting old, it's reason enough for all of us to take advantage of the time we have here on this earth. How this man is doing just that out on the porch.
More and more families are taking advantage of the wide variety of digital equipment available these days to record the activities of aging loved ones.
But others put things off until it's suddenly too late. By way of inspiration, Jim Swift takes us out on the porch tonight for a visit with one local family that's not waiting.
Chuck Dingley can remember singing songs to anyone who would listen since he was 7 or 8 years old.
To spend one night with you in our rendezvous. I was helping my dad down in the basement, and my grandmother made the comment. She says, "You know, you might ought to see about letting that boy do some singing." And an uncle of mine says, "You ought to try to get him on the radio." And my dad made the comment. He said, "I wish I could. That way I could turn him off." To hear you whisper low.
Dingley made his living as an aircraft machinist for the Air Force and later the Army. But as his son recalls, the old man never met a microphone he didn't like. And people in his audience never heard a ding-a-ling-dingley song they didn't like.
You're my desire.
If you see the gleam in his eye when he's singing a song, you know that he's enjoying it, and that brings people right to him.
Oh, Danny boy.
The CD that will come out of this recording session is not meant for the big time, or even the small time, but it is dictated by the relentless march of time.
We want his voice. You know, none of us live forever, and God willing, he's going to be with us for another 50, 60 years. But we want to get that recorded.
Your son put it very delicately, but what he's trying to say is you're getting old.
You're right. You're right. And my daughter says that every once in a while too. She says, "Dad, before you kick the bucket and we have to throw dirt in your face, well, we'd like to have your voice recorded, you know." Oh, Danny boy, oh, Danny boy, I love you so.
Out on the porch, Jim Swift, KXAN News.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, Chris, we could do this for a long time because you got a lot of video stuff over the years.
Do you believe that guy out on the porch?
Out on the porch.
Out
with
on
Jim
the porch.
Swift.
It's not even out. Is it on the porch? Out on the porch? Jim's out on the porch.
Actually, it's
Jim,
not what you say, it's how you say it. It's more like this. Out on the porch. Jim Swift, KXAN News. I'm out here, help.
I gotta take this off.
For once in my life, I actually am on the porch. Hello, Christine.
Jim Swift, ladies and gentlemen, out on the porch, on the MoonHouse porch.
What a surprise.
This is awesome.
I just happened by.
Yeah, we stole your shtick last week when we had Oliver out on the porch.
Yeah,
and we kept talking about that all week. And then Chris goes, "Well, we need to get Jim Swift on the porch."
Well, it's an inspired idea, I do say.
We have, for those of you that aren't from Austin, Jim was on the air on KXAN for a long time. you did a feature with me. You came and interviewed me. That was BC before Chris, and we've been together 24 years, so it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
You came out and we talked about the Austin Rape Crisis Center, and I was a public spokesperson at the time.
And then long before that, I met you down at the Driscoll Bar and Grill.
Oh.
You were playing a gig down there. You'd just gotten here from New Mexico.
Yeah, it was my first gig. I got to play 6 nights a week for 9 weeks at the Driscoll Bar and Grill. It was like having a real gig. I mean, a job. I almost had benefits with that. And then Jim also did a story about Michael Austin when he was here recording.
And we shot a bunch of that down at Don's.
Yeah.
And also here
right.
at the studio.
That's right. And then we did another one when our
we got hacked by
our studio
Chinese
computer
hackers or Russian hackers.
Oh,
Remember
that?
Yeah, it was like all this weird messages, dark messages that were just really frightening looking.
Yeah.
And so we had to go through. Yeah, we had.
And then when I'm in connection with the Sun Radio, Porch Radio show that I'm doing now.
Right.
When you put out Everything is Beautiful, the CD, came over and we had a long interview about that. And we put that on the radio.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we did a long interview on that. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Tell the folks what you're doing now. And a lot of them probably know, but and a lot of people that tune in every week live elsewhere. It's one of the gift and the fist with this situation is that a lot of people always wanted to go to Monday night, and now they are from California and let's see, California.
That's everybody
I'm thinking of is in California.
South Dakota.
No, but South Dakota.
There's a lot of people in California.
Denver, Connecticut, Florida.
And that's the beauty of Sun Radio because it's on the internet.
Exactly.
And so there are people listening to us in Europe and all over.
So when is your show on?
It airs at 10 o'clock on Sunday mornings. It's called Porch Radio, and it's on Sun Radio, which is solar-powered, nonprofit. And it's 100.1 here in Austin, FM. But as I mentioned, you can also stream it on sunradio.com.
Right.
So let's see. Right after me is from 11 to 12 is John Dromgoole's Dance Halls and Last Calls.
Oh, yeah, nice.
So, and then at 9 o'clock, right before me, Ed Miller does his Across the Pond program.
Oh, yeah, great.
So you got Ed Miller, Jim Swift, and John Dromgoole. Just get plenty of cups of coffee.
Sounds like church to me.
Yeah, baby.
Also, let's talk about your wedding to the lovely Katie Nail.
Ah, yes.
Tell them about that. Wasn't that on a Monday night?
It absolutely was. The week before, and this was back in 2000, the week before that, we were in the kitchen one morning, and we actually took pictures of ourselves that morning because we didn't look that good. I mean, it was kind of early.
Right.
But I do remember asking her there standing in the kitchen what she thought of the idea of getting married, and she was positive about it.
Right.
And so we said, let's do it. Then, Well, Donn's Depot, of course. We met there. Actually, we re-met there.
Right.
I met her many years before that when I did an interview with her daughter, Carrie.
Right.
Who was a
Carrie
young
Rodriguez
violinist at the time.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, I ran into her there at Donn's one night and got reacquainted. And so, hey, let's just get married at Donn's. All right, when? Well, Chris does his thing down there on Monday night. Why don't we just crash that? So I called him up, and I told him what we was thinking. He said, yeah, we'll sing Here Comes the Bride for you and everything. And so we did it. And the weird thing was we were just going to have, friends, family and whatnot, a few folks in there to do it. But Frances Nail, Katie's wonderful mama, she had a good friend, John Ailey, who's on the radio on KUT, and they talked often.
Yeah.
And so in
so
passing,
that's how that happened.
In passing, one day she mentioned hey, come Monday night, this is going to happen. Well, John just got on the radio and started blabbering all over, all about it. So when we finally got there, we couldn't find a parking place at our own wedding.
Right.
And meanwhile, somebody decided we needed a wedding cake, so they went to Sam's Club and came back with 2 chocolate happy birthday cakes. And it was great, man. I just ate the icing and went home happy. So
it's interesting because it seemed like it came out of nowhere, and we were like, "What? Jim and Kate are getting married on Monday?" But I didn't. I thought you had it planned for a long time.
No,
you just sort of
it was
shifted
pretty
gears.
spontaneous. Yeah. And Carrie Rodriguez came down and she played her fiddle and sang, and Marcia Ball happened in and banged on that piano and. Oh, it was just so much fun.
It was beautiful.
It was a blast.
Yeah, you guys see, this is what Don's Depot means. Monday nights means a lot to people, and Chris has played there for so many years, and we played there every Wednesday for many years. I wrote an article about it that was in the Chronicle because what I said was that residencies like that are not a gig. It becomes a family and a community, and from your perch on the stage, you watch people meet. You watch them fall in love. Sometimes you watch them split up. We've had births, we've had deaths, we've had tragedies, we've had joyful celebrations. And over the years, it's just so much a part of your life.
Yeah, one of the times I remember most vividly, and I don't remember his name, and I didn't know him, but there was a guy who was terminally ill, I guess, and he was in a wheelchair, I believe. And Chris and, I don't know, half a dozen other guys just on their knees, embracing him, surrounding him. It was an incredible thing.
That was, his name was Gary. He was a young man who used to come all the time, and he developed ALS.
Yeah.
And so he was, for a while, he was still coming, and then it got to the point where he would spend 20 minutes walking across that to get to the tip jar. He was just determined.
Oh, I felt so bad.
Yeah, he just wanted to, stay present in his life for as long as he could. Yeah. And then he got to the point where he was in a wheelchair and he was coming in. It was just, it was.
Well,
that's exactly
just
the kind
watching
of thing.
that.
Yes,
know, just. I mean, like I say, I didn't know him, and I could sort of gather what was going on. Yeah. But it was powerful.
That's exactly the kind of thing I'm talking about.
Don's Depot is a special place every night of the week. Mondays for sure.
Jim, this is probably a tired question, but what's your most memorable On the Porch experience?
It's been so long since I've been asked. I may come up with a fresh answer.
There you go.
It's a long story, but I'm going to keep it to a couple of seconds. I had the opportunity in 1987-8 to go to the Soviet Union and do a story about a guy from Austin who was having a reunion with Soviet military people that he met when he was a pilot flying B-17s in World War II.
Wow.
And so I had the opportunity to go over there and do a long series of stories and a 30-minute special on that. And this Gorbachev was president. Things had begun to loosen up. There was the glasnost thing and the perestroika thing going on, but it was still the Soviet Union by every measure.
That's right. I spent 2 weeks there in '88 with Roy Clark. That was around
yeah.
that time.
Yeah. Well, and the next year, Butch Hancock and Tomas Ramirez and I don't know, a dozen other musicians from Austin, they just decided, hey, we're going. And I said, hey, I'm going too. Yeah. I didn't do a story. I just sort of went over there, paid my way, and went over there and roadied for them. And then the rest of the time I hit the streets and made friends. Wow. And on their backs, I was able to go back 2 more times. Yeah. So, nice. It was, and when they went over there, they didn't even have any gigs lined up. We went to Kiev, and we went to Moscow, and we went to Leningrad, St. Petersburg now. And in all 3 of those places, we just got out on the streets, met some young people, told them, musicians, Texas, want to sing, where can we? Boom, there was suddenly a concert,
That's awesome.
It was really fun. So,
that's awesome. Yeah,
so
that's not what not what I would have expected you to say.
Yeah.
That's a long way from Central Texas.
Well,
was there a porch? Did you find a porch?
Actually, the whole Red Square is kind of a monster porch.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to tell the people watching that they're probably going, what does this have to do with Don's Depot? This is what it's like on a break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Except no hugging.
No hugging.
That's the only
You
difference.
get great stories.
After the gig with the cognac.
Yeah, exactly.
We better get back to the music. Jim
Right.
Swift, everybody.
Jim Swift.
Thank
Out
you
on the
so
porch here
much.
at the MoonHouse.
May the porch be with you.
May the porch
Amen.
be with you.
Love the way you're wearing your porch hat and your Sun Radio
Oh, I'm
T-shirt.
decked out, man.
Yeah.
This is the first time I hadn't been in pajamas in
Right,
about
I
4
know.
weeks.
You even had to put pants on because it's not just waist up like a Zoom call.
Exactly. I haven't washed jeans in a month and a half,
Yeah.
so it's great to get out.
Give our love to Katie.
Surely will. Thank you
Yeah,
both.
and to
I
Carrie.
love what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's super duper.
Thanks
Jim
for
Swift,
doing this.
everybody.
Bye-bye.